Oh, welcome, Solutionaries. Seems like I haven't been with y'all for so long. Oh my goodness. It is 2026 in a few hours. Y'all know the routine. Come in, let me know what platform you're watching from, what city you're watching from. It is the 2025 recap. I want to be very clear with y'all. This is the first time ever. I may have been doing YouTube more consistently for this year, 2025, but not even the full year in full. So huge shouts to everybody that's tapping in. Huge shouts to everybody that has supported the work. We're gonna go over a lot of this stuff tonight. Y'all know the routine. Come in, comment. Let me know where you commenting from. Naturally armed, I see you over there in Jersey. If you are in the New Jersey area, tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, shoot, even Connecticut, you need to link up with Naturally Armed if you need in-person firearms instruction. Y'all know the routine. Hit the repost button, smash the like button, and all tonight, all the way to New Year's, we are going to be pushing the Solutionary 9. I've been telling you all on the lives for the last 6 months, yo, the Solutionary 9 is going up to 10 times what it is, and you got until midnight to tap in. But anyway, on the first, what's up, y'all? Tonight, we're breaking down 2025's wildest, most outrageous, and unforgettable stories. And that's from politics to pop culture to everything in between. And you're not going to want to miss this. If you're new here, welcome. Big Rob, what's up? If you're new here, homage to Ray. I've spent the last decade working at the intersection of culture, politics, and real-world education. And that's between Solutionary University, whether that's Black Guns Matter. We've reached millions and trained thousands of people all across the country on their rights, responsibilities, and how systems actually work. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow for more. And again, guys, today, before we get started on all of these crazy stories, today, legacy access to our Solutionary 9 private community closes at midnight. For only $99, you're going to get a complete blueprint, and that's courses, structure, curriculums, and community to train your mind, strengthen your body, and defend your life. I want everybody to jump in before the price increases to $999. All right? Chuck Rose just had a great statement here. Chuck, it's so crazy that you said that because I've actually been thinking about that. Chuck said, hey, Maj, would love to get affiliate links to share the classes. Don't even want a profit share, just to know who actually uses them. So we working on that, and that will be up within the next month. So real briefly before we get into the show tonight, y'all, again, everybody come in and hit the like button. Wild Celt over there from South Carolina, what's up? The Solutionary 9 is your routine to improve. For years, I have traveled the country. Obviously, you guys know I was doing the work with BGM, but I just saw so many deficiencies in people. And we started to develop curriculums around things. First, it started as, yo, people need to get the classes, but they don't want to wait until we come to their city. Or when we got the Solutionary Center, we don't want to wait until they come to us in Philly. So we created the Firearms Basics class. Then we see people that don't know civics. Then they don't know this. They don't understand the imminent threat. So we continued to create courses, curriculums, in video format that you guys could have access to them regardless from the comfort of your home. That started to continue to build into this thing called the Solutionary 9. So there's an actual routine that you can level up and get better, smarter, stronger, and a better shooter. That's what the Solutionary 9 is. For the last year or so, we've been refining it because and telling people, hey, we want to get more hands-on, and everybody should have this stuff. Saying this to say, we made that, and for the last 6 months, I've been telling y'all, like, yo, this price is going to go up because I want to get more hands-on, macros, meal, all of that stuff. And so now, as more people are in and are growing, there's I want to say like 1,000 people in the Solutionary 9, right? Now that that's happening, we want y'all to actually make money off of it too. Some of y'all are in the Solutionary 9. Some of y'all have taken a few classes. Some of y'all see the benefit and how the classes, go and all that other good stuff. You see the information, and you'll say these things that you learn in the class, and people might ask you, yo, where you get that from? We want to make sure, especially that the price is increasing in January the 1st, tomorrow, we want to make sure that everybody can get paid off of you learning a thing, going through the process, and then you can sell it. That's the next phase of it as well. So that's a great question, Chuck, and I appreciate you for that. But I do think you should profit from it. If you go through the Solutionary 9, if you are a solutionary and you know this stuff, you should 1,000% put more people onto it and you should make money off of it. That's it. And I stand on that. So we working on that next. Johnny Dogworth, what's up? Peace. New Year's. Born day in a few hours. Appreciate you, bro. Raymond Kent from Vegas, what's up? So again, guys, the call to action, I want everybody to, get these courses, that structure, that community to train your mind, strengthen your body, and defend your life if need be. And I want everybody to jump in before the price increases. The price increase is $999. It's $99. Tomorrow, it's $999. You can get that at solutionaryuniversity.org or click the link in the description, and I think it'll take you there. Now, tonight's show, we got a lot going on. We're going to talk. I want to y'all tonight. We ain't got a whole bunch of video. We ain't got a whole bunch of pictures. We're going to talk about what needs to be talked about tonight. And tonight, what needs to be talked about is everything that's going on in the last year. Now, we're going to start. We're going to mix it. We're going to mix some stuff that's, very entertaining. And some of the stuff that has happened has been dramatic and traumatic. Dramatic and traumatic. The link is in the chat if you're watching on YouTube. If you're in the chat section or comment section on YouTube, you can hit the link, and it's also on the screen. All right? So I want everybody to make sure that you tap into that. It's $99 one time for your entire life. After tomorrow, it's $999. Okay? So that link is there. I'll leave it up for a while. Tonight's conversation is definitely going to be, some things are entertaining and funny. Some things are not entertaining and funny. And some of those are very, they expose how stupid things have gotten, how goofy shit has gotten. Tremendous levels of goofery in some of tonight's conversation from some of the highlights and low points, but very extreme topics from 2025. And one of those that are extremely fucked up, for lack of a better term, is the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's just what it is. So we're going to start there. Let's get the veggies out the way first, and we'll end up on some fruit, okay? For those of you that don't know, Charlie Kirk, everybody knows, was assassinated in public. For those of you that also don't know, on my old X page, I've disagreed with Charlie. I've spoken at Turning Point events, a few of them. I was very critical of this turn that he made as it relates to his talking points around black people. We can't unify America if we are calling out a big percentage and saying they're the overall problem. I don't believe in that. I think we're all Americans. And if you are on one hand saying we're all Americans and then on the other hand practicing a collectivism as it relates to black people, that I think towards the end of his life, Charlie Kirk did do. This does not negate some of the other great points that he made. But I'm not going to be cool with that. Same thing I've said about Candace Owens, who I've done her show as well. Okay? But this political drama, the media moves, the controversies around this shit, it's one of that fucking... Charlie Kirk's assassination may be the most impactful assassination since the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, as far as America goes, okay? And I want y'all to jump in, tell me your perspectives. If y'all disagree with me, throw it in the chat. Again, guys, everybody hit the like button. Share it all over the place. If you're watching on X, make sure you repost it. Don't cost y'all nothing to repost it. I'm going to repost it right now, too. I can see who reposted, too, by the way. So some of y'all just be tapping in and watching and don't fucking be reposting. Repost the joint, y'all. Hook it up. All right? There is something to be said for the ability to disagree with someone and their approach and still go, the way that person was killed was not fucking deserved. If you happen to be one of my black followers or solutionaries, and if you think that all white people are X, Y, and Z, you should unfollow me. You should. I am not a collectivist in any way, shape, or form. Okay? If you are a person, if you're a white person that wants to collectivize all black people, if you're a white solutionary, and you want to collectivize all black people, unfollow me. I am capable of saying Charlie Kirk did not deserve what he did, and even worse than that, the absolute shit show that has happened since the assassination of Charlie Kirk has been all over the place. And I want y'all to tell me if y'all disagree with me. I think that the United States government has been fucking complicit, and the FBI under the so-called leadership of Kash Patel has been one of the most absurd, insane shows of absolute incompetence. And this is me saying this knowing that there will be a trial and they will try to withhold information to not taint the jury pool in the future. I want to be clear about that. We are, as solutionaries, we are a very nuanced, robust, and objective people. Okay? And we strive every day to be that. However, that does not mean that this is not a shit show. Charlie Kirk's assassination location was cemented over within a week. Similar to when Donald Trump was shot in the ear, they were spraying down the roof of where they said the sniper was at. That is a shit show. And I dare any one of y'all to disagree with me on that. As someone that has been at murder scenes and has watched homicide detectives do their thing, and y'all see some of the stuff, television gets it right sometimes. When television says, don't move, don't touch anything, because they don't want to contaminate a scene, and that's legitimate. Okay? But this shit show that was the Charlie Kirk assassination then turns into his widow jumping out there, going on a damn world tour, damn near, with pyrotechnics, and this shit looked like a WWE event. His memorial looked like a WWE event. And I'm not wrong to say that shit looked crazy. That shit looked crazy. I don't trust her. Somebody in the chat said earlier, I was right about Ericka Kirk. I'm right about a lot of shit. Not because I'm super duper smart, because I pay attention and I lead with, don't trust the government. That's what I lead with. I'd love to be pleasantly surprised when the government does something correct. Oh, that's great. Didn't have that on my bingo card. Right? So I was right about Ericka Kirk because it didn't look right. I knew something was off when we saw Ericka Kirk do that weird, creepy picture of her hand over Charlie Kirk's hand at what was supposed to be his body. And that shit looked weird. Some things are private. It looked weird. And then we get Candace Owens jumping into the fray, which I believe, I was the first one to tell y'all this, years ago when I saw their interaction, meaning Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, my first thought was, they fucking. That was my first thought. They spent a lot of time together. They traveled the country together. At the time, my understanding was they were both single. I 1000%. Their chemistry, I was like, oh, they smashing. I said nothing of it. That's not my business. I mind the businesses that pay me. But in time, I go, huh? And when I see Candace Owens jumping out here looking like Little Kim at Biggie's funeral, even though Big was married to Faith, when I see that, and I see Candace Owens looking like the only person that's still riding for Charlie Kirk. Meanwhile, Ericka Kirk is doing fucking WWE things, going all of the, oh, J.D. Vance will be the president, and all of this other stupid shit. It's been 2 months. October to what, 10th, 14th, something like that? October, November, December. It's been 2 months since Charlie Kirk was murdered. It looks weird. That is arguably one of the biggest question marks of 2025. I still haven't seen, where is Charlie Kirk's parents? Can anybody in the chat tell me where Charlie Kirk's parents are? That's not strange to y'all? Nobody's heard from his parents? That's not weird? His parents ain't there? That's weird. Where were Ericka Kirk's parents? Has anybody seen them? I didn't see. Again, I try to mind the businesses that pay me. So I might have missed it. I'm objective. I might have missed her parents and his parents. But when you package all of this and then you roll up Candace Owens, it seems to be the only one that's riding, that's asking questions. And some of it's out there. Some of the questions are out there. But I remember back in 2020 when some of the things that I was saying, like, do you actually know anybody that you saw actually die from the coronavirus? Because remember, before it was called COVID-19, it was called the coronavirus. Remember when I was like, I seem to have driven past hospitals, and it don't seem like it's tons of bodies stacked up in hospitals like the media said it. I got called a conspiracy theorist. Then a month or two later, when they was like, oh, so many bodies, and this is the worst fucking virus ever, then all of the doctors and nurses was doing TikTok dances. I was vindicated. Why? Because Maj and Solutionary's lead with don't trust the fucking government. Definitely don't trust the media, most effective devil in America. So now when we fast forward a few years and we see the most this might be one of the most prolific assassinations in American history. And I say that as disagreeing with Charlie Kirk's approach to the black community on his podcast or on his shows. I disagree with it. So in that process, I go, with all of this, why do we still have no answers? We still don't got no answers about the dude that allegedly shot Donald Trump in the ear. What the fuck is up with that? These are the controversies, political dramas, narratives, and everybody seemed to, in the conservative space, everybody either went, oh, we will remember you, Charlie. This is for Charlie. This is for Ericka. But it seems as if none of you motherfuckers are asking questions. Candace seemed to be the only one that's asking questions. And then all of the kids went to attack her. Weird. Tell me where I'm wrong. And we're going to put the number in for everybody. Y'all can call it. Tonight's show, we're just wrapping up 2025. That's all. If you got something you want to say, if you want to throw it in the chat, do it. We're going to put the call-in number in a second. Give me your perspective, because I think I'm right. Because Maj is mostly right. I think I'm right, but I could be wrong. I don't think I am, though. So we'll come back to that. So I want y'all to stew on that for a little bit. But let's go to another one for 2025. Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Oh, my God. It got heated. I got a list of stuff for y'all tonight. The Drake and Kendrick Lamar shit was the biggest music moment. I think it was bigger than everything. You couldn't get away from They Not Like Us. And I think the song is trash. Me personally, I don't like the song. But you couldn't get away from it. Sidebar, guys, we got our Stop Bitching, Work Harder mugs. If y'all haven't seen them, go over to blackgunsmatter.shop. And if you haven't seen the Love hoodie, grab that too. Y'all can still, I think until tomorrow, the hoodies is on sale 2 for $85. So go over there and grab what you want, blackgunsmatter.shop. This Drake and Kendrick thing exposed a lot of the corrupt. Everything gonna come to the solutionaries. Everything gonna come to solutions. All right? We ain't in no way, shape, or form gonna ignore the propaganda machine at work from the Kendrick Lamar situation. Drake, who I like when he raps, I don't like Drake as a singer. I don't want to hear all that singing. Don't sing too much to me, bro. I'm not a girl. Don't sing to me. Don't harmonize to me. Bars, drums. You know what I mean? That's my perspective. However, Kendrick Lamar and Drake arguably had the biggest beef rap since Nas and Jay-Z. I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. They had to me, they had the, you know what I mean? That's what it is. Okay? To me, that's what it seems like to me. All right? What's up, y'all? To me, that also showcased the power of the media and the industry and all of those different things. That's what it showcased to me. It showcased a desire for corporate establishments to crown a new king. Not because Kendrick was killing it the same way that Drake for the last 10 years has single-handedly kept the hip-hop genre alive. I'm going to keep it a buck. Nicki, Drake, Wayne been going for a minute. But 10 to 15 years, they've been on a generational run. And what happens after the entire machine says, we don't want this person to be the thing anymore, just like they did with Nicki. We don't want Nicki to be the person no more. We want Meg and or Cardi to be the person. If you push back against the machine, instead of just taking your, whatever, and bow out whatever money they left you with or gave you, they're going to try to go against you. And we watched, listen, man. I have not seen a serious coordinated effort to get somebody out of the paint. The only one that compares is they trying to get Candace Owens out the paint right now. Because she asking questions. Drake and Nicki Minaj, who are both ostracized in the so-called music industry, not sales, not fans, they've done great with their fan base. And again, I'm not a fan of singing Drake. But when he rap, Drake could rap. Drake could rap. Okay? Since I'm not a fan of that, I could be objective and go, nah, they have held the entire industry together. The Drake, Young Money, Birdman-esque, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj thing, that's like the 7 or 8 to 10 companies that's holding the whole United States economy together. Like fucking NVIDIA, like, you know what I'm saying? And when that industry said absolutely not and turned their back on them, we saw something that was very interesting. Somebody that was not known for no hits. And I like Kendrick earlier shit. I think he went super leftist and doing the pandering shit on the last few, you know what I mean? The last few joints. But I like Good Kid, Mad City. I like, you know what I mean? I like aggressive music. I like aggressive shit. Don't, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna make love. Okay? I don't know how I'm gonna get that. Well, y'all don't, because I don't really talk about that. But y'all get my point. Aggression is, music-wise, that's the type of thing that I like. Okay? Super Weapon says, when we talking Drake and hip-hop rap, are we talking mainstream or all of it, including underground? I don't count the underground. Because I think it's unfair. That's a good next question. Bookworm says, what I think about Nicki coming to Amfest. That's going to be the next question. And I'm going to get to that. But let me flesh out this thing with Super Weapons real quick. We're talking Drake and hip-hop rap. Are we talking mainstream or all of it, including underground? Let me be very clear. None of these people want smoke with J. Cole. None of these people, lyrically, none of these people want smoke with J. Cole. And I want to, talking about the Drake and Kendrick beef, I did a show on, I don't know if y'all know, I do a lot of shows that y'all may not be knowing. I'm not the best. I'm going to get better in 2026 of making sure that I'm giving y'all some of these interviews that I do. Did y'all know I was on the Danza project? Me and Danza sat down and had a conversation about this for about an hour going into our episode. We got deep pause in the last part of the interview. It was like 2 or 3 hour sit down. However, the first like 40 minutes to an hour of it was about the Drake joint, the Drake and Kendrick joint. All right. Saying this to say, Kendrick can out-rap Drake, but Drake can rap. But I don't like listening to Kendrick on certain things and certain vibes. Okay? I'm saying this all to say, when I talk about hip-hop on this massive scale, I don't think that the general public understands the type of hip-hop they even should be listening to. I don't even think they get it. So I don't count that the same, but I'm not saying it to diminish actual hip-hop. All right? But when we're talking about bars and songs and structure, Drake is somewhere else, man. Drake has the ability. Like, okay, so for me, for example, y'all know we talk about freedom, we talk about liberty, we talk about solutions. If we talking about pop culture, it's a wrap up like tonight, or it's to tie it into the propaganda behind it, so we can be solutionaries to have an understanding. Off top, we're not gonna get the same viewership or support, right? Because we're talking about more intelligent things. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It just means we on our own little island over here. So I don't expect the general public to have a thorough understanding of how J. Cole would have absolutely trashed Kendrick and Drake, right? And not that Drake is not a formidable opponent, because he is, and Kendrick is obviously a formidable opponent. But I don't count them in that same thing because they trying to do something else. Kendrick Lamar has been propped up by the same machine that lyricists pretend like they're in opposition to. I knew that when I saw They Not Like Us getting so many spins. It wasn't about the song was so dope and it was so great. It was about we want to attack the guy that's on top. Drake has been financing hip hop for 10 or 15 years, feeding a lot of people. Them 7 to 10 companies that feed the rest of the economy. So this was about, we want to knock you off the top, and I hate that. I could put away my, I don't like that Drake purses his lips. I posted a picture of him from a few days ago with him pointing a Glock at the camera. A more recent picture, he had his finger all in the trigger guard. I don't like that about Drake. I remember DMX said it. I hate everything about Drake. I hate his voice. I hate his this. No, I don't like dog. I don't like dog, right? I put that aside because I recognize when the corporate entity is just trying to make somebody get out the seat as opposed to it being very competitive. They Not Like Us is not a dope ass song. It's not. But he won. And to Super Weapon's question, I think that type of legitimate hip hop is for a person that wants to be more intelligent, more in tune. And I think we do a disservice to the art form. Hip hop is a culture. MCing, DJing, breakdancing, and graffiti. Those are the 4 elements of hip hop. And I don't see that in rap. Rap is rhythm and poetry. So there's a bit of a difference. So to your question, I separate them, but I understand that in different lanes, Drake will absolutely demolish and has in data and stats and numbers pretty much everybody. He's somewhere else. Because similar to people that are entertainers, if I was doing live streams, right, which I think, and I want y'all to tell me, would y'all like to see me do more live streams on Twitch and Kick and all of those different things, right? But if I was being funny and joking and laughing and not talking about guns and freedom and all of that, I would have a bigger audience. Drake and his ability to sing and harmonize and melody and put out a dance, which I thought was trash, right? He's more people because it's the business. Kendrick's going to make songs and all of that and but whatever. Kendrick fit the aesthetic of we was going BLM, corporate America, but not so much anymore. And when Drake started to see that, he was like, oh, absolutely not. And then he sued this and he sued that, highlighted a lot of the payola, highlighted a lot of the Spotify game, the media, most effective devil in America. He didn't like that the system was rigged against him because he had the system rigged against others because he was such a large machine. When you get that large, you can't be you're too big to fail unless we want you to fail so we can put somebody else that we can further control in your spot. That's it. Once you learn certain things about the business and you can control the splits and you can command more of the presence, they'd rather take you out, put somebody else that they can give a third of that to, and that'll enrich their life, but they'll have more control over you. That's what the media does, and that happens across all platforms. Similar to, again, we going back to Candace Owens. Oh, she questioning certain things? Get her off the Daily Wire. She questioned not moving the way we want? Get her off of PragerU. Now some of y'all, because she questioning things about Charlie Kirk's death, assassination. Now some of y'all is like, oh, get her off the internet. I thought we wasn't the cancel culture people. But, I don't know. Next question, Bookworm. What do you think about Nicki coming to AmFest? Let me say this, y'all. Y'all not going to like this answer. Again, guys, Smash the like button, hit the repost. Ain't nobody repost this joint yet. Nobody repost this joint yet. Yeah. All right? I see some of y'all saying some wild shit in the chat. I'm going to go to that in a second. All right. What do I think about Nicki coming to AmFest? I'm going to go through that, then I'm going to scroll a little bit. Let me be very clear. Y'all, I'm going to throw, this question is going to offend some of you in the show tonight. My answer to this question, and this is going to, if my political connects see this stream, which they probably won't, because we shadow banned, and I deliberately under-promoted this, because I only want to talk to a few of y'all, okay? I only want to talk to solutionaries. Moving forward in 2026, I ain't doing I'm talking to our Solutionary private Telegram group. If y'all want Solutionary University, Solutionary 9, get it tonight. Tomorrow it's at $999 instead of $99. So I think you should do that. Okay? However, I would prefer to not talk to anybody but solutionaries. That's my preference. That's my preference. Me personally. All right? Saying that to say, this is going to offend some of my political connects. This might offend Mark Lamont Hill. This might offend Queens Flip, who are buddies of mine. And there's talk about me being on the Joe Budden podcast, but I'm going to say it because I can't not say it. We family, y'all solutionaries. I can't curb my tongue for something that I think is true because I don't think my friends will allow me to be on a Joe Budden podcast after that. Okay? So I'm going to tell y'all the truth to the question that's being asked of me right now. The question is, what do you think about Nicki coming to AmFest? First, I think that Nicki Minaj is the best female hip-hop artist of the last 20 years. Hands down. Creative, got her own pen, got on tracks with legends. I'm going to be very clear with you. Nicki on Monster by Kanye West out-rapped everybody on the joint. And everybody was on the joint. Hove was on there. Ye was on there. Everybody was on there. And she smoked them. Nicki Minaj has bars. It's not even a question. Nicki Minaj also is a married woman that has a child that understands the wickedness of the media, and that's that. So she comes out to have a sit down with Ericka Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. I think she was glazing Trump and things. I think she said nothing that warranted the over now 100,000 petition signatures to get her deported to Trinidad. That's a real thing. And it speaks to this. And why did I mention Mark Lamont Hill and Queens Flip and the Joe Budden podcast? Because Joe went on the podcast and said, I'm out. Barbs, don't hit my phone. This, that, and the third. Whoop-de-whoop-whoop-whoop. All of that. You said all of that. But Joe Budden, you sat down with Candace Owens when everybody was like, I'm done with you. So you can sit down with Candace Owens during a time when she was fresh off or still in the back end of her anti-black tirade. Let's be very clear. And I've done Candace's show, so this ain't like I'm saying it to be, I've said this to her face, respectfully, okay? You can have the conversation with Candace Owens when she said, and has risen to fame initially, because that's what the black conservative, a lot of the more popular black conservatives do. When you diss black people, it seems to be cool, okay? And it's not cool. Saying that to say, Joe had a conversation with her, and he was like, I just wanted to talk to her. But now when she sits down with Ericka Kirk, now it's a problem. As if Joe Budden has been the shining light of morality over the last 20, however many years. Wild. To say the least. Wild. So, more so than the obvious glazing, for whatever political backdoor reason that Nicki decided to do it, there is an agenda, there's a rumor that she got $1 million to have that sit down. Maybe. Outside of all of that, she is an American that has the right to sit down with whoever she wants. And outside of the glazing, talking about President Trump and young men should be like him, and I get it. I hear that conversation. And I understand how politics actually work. You do me a favor, I do you a favor. Maybe her brother, who has federal charges, maybe, I don't care. What I'm saying is she has the right to have that conversation, and outside of the glazing, I don't think she said anything that was too crazy. What's giving me the pushback and the battery in my back for the pushback is, how dare y'all try to box somebody into what they're allowed to say? How dare you? Albie Fresh says she's not American. What the fuck are you talking about, Albie Fresh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? She's not an American? What do you mean? Explain that. Anybody who disagrees is welcome to call in. That's on the screen now. It's in the chat. Super Weapon said, we got to get all the Maj's hot takes out all the way for 2026, 100%. That's what tonight's going to be, y'all. That's what tonight's going to be. Protocol said, Joe really salty Nicki a better rapper and had a better career than he did. Listen, I like Joe as a artist. Joe's pen game is phenomenal. I like the podcast setup. I'm not tripping about none of that. I like the podcast setup. I like the show. I like that he got so many Philly cats on there. You know what I mean? I ain't in no way, shape, or form am I tripping about the Joe Budden podcast. I just think it's contradictory that Joe now that's where you draw the line. But when you sat down with Candace Owens and put it behind the paywall to get paid off of it, and then talking about on the show, oh, well, you know, maybe she got paid, but y'all moving out here in a way that such and such and such. Come on, bro, that's a contradiction. So calling the contradiction, and I'm open to a conversation about it. And I don't want anybody to take this as a diss to anybody or their manhood or anything like that. Right? I'm just saying it's a contradiction. So where I start to give pushback is the same reason why I give pushback, even though I don't really bang with Drake too heavy like that when he's singing. I think he is soft dude trying to sometimes pretend like he harder than what it is. Right? When I see the industry trying to gang up and pile on somebody, then they become the underdog to me. And I want to help defend the underdog. I'm not a bully. I bully bullies. I don't like bullies. Similar to, I can disagree with Charlie Kirk's approach to black people in life, but then stop attacking when I go, or disagreeing as hard when he gets murdered and go, yeah, but his hand ain't called for that. See, we nuance. Gentile Killer says, who gives a damn about Nicki? I'm more concerned about food and gas prices. Gentile Killer, what you doing about the food and gas prices? What you doing about it? What you doing about it in your own budget? Let me put the call-in number back on here, because it seems like a lot of y'all got a lot of shit to say. If you in the YouTube show and you on the YouTube, the chat is right there. It's on the screen now, but it's in the comments. Scroll up. You disagree with me, you're welcome to call in. All right? Bookworm says, he sat down with her right after them White Lives Matter t-shirt, like, spare me to be. Exactly. Joe sat down with Candace Owens right after the White Lives Matter t-shirt. So don't talk that, then get on there and be like, oh, they're talking anti-black. Then some of that stuff starts to question. Then my conspiracy hat go on. My conspiracy hat go on like, there's certain people that's on the Joe Budden podcast used to be hood. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you can't grow where you got to be boxing in one thing, but it's starting to skewer a little bit on the leftist tip with a soft tip at certain times. You know what I mean? And I go, damn, are certain people placed there to make sure y'all stay within certain parameters? I don't know. I just want to ask the question. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree that I don't agree that Nicki should have her voice stifled for sitting down with a widow. I don't think that. I think you articulate what she got wrong there, and you do that and go. But you could destroy somebody's identity because again, it was glazing. I ain't into that. I'm not talking about how. I don't give a fuck about how handsome or ugly. I take an ugly president that's getting things done. I don't care about the ugly nature of someone's physical attributes compared to what are they getting done for the country. So like talking about President Trump and how attractive he was and all that, I don't care about that in no way, shape, or form, right? So you should argue the merits more so than going like, oh, I'm done. Don't text me. Don't call. Like that sound girly to me. That sound girly to me. I'm just not into it. I'm not. And when you start bullying people for their positions as opposed to destroying their ideas, their positions, and their takes, I start going, why you got to do that? Especially if you got a blatant contradiction right there. You just sat down with Candace Owens. All of these people are now saying she needs to be deported. She is legally an American citizen. Shut up. But some of you same people that's saying she needs to be deported, you are the same people that's saying we need more and more immigrants. Which one is it? Which one is it? For us as solutionaries, the contradiction is the thing that we should always push back. As solutionaries, we expose the contradiction to the maximum degree. That's what we do. Paul, what's up with that super chat? Paul says, Happy New Year to all. The problem with the black community is the hive mind mentality that comes after blacks with a different point of view or voice. Nicki Minaj is just the latest one that the community takes issues with. Now, I'm going to give you some slight pushback on that, Paul. It ain't most of the black community. It's a small minority of the pundits that have microphones. I was just talking about this. Some of these do, and this part is not to Joe Budden or the staff or the team over there at the Joe Budden podcast. This part is not to them. This part is to the fat grits dude with the double chin. I don't like a pandering person that pretends to be pro-black all of the time. And then because they got a microphone, it looks as if they might speak for the entire black community. I'm not with that. You gotta miss me with that. Not you, Paul. I'm saying generally, right? And so what happens is there's certain people that have a microphone and then they get, the media goes, yeah, highlight this voice. And then they look like they speak for the entire community. And they don't. I know so many conservatives are like, yeah, I don't like what she said about Trump and I disagree, especially the time where Trump's ratings are lowest than they've ever been, right? So I know there's conservatives that was like, and they technically the black community, the pundit class that got a big microphone make it seem like they speak for the whole truth. It's no different than certain white conservatives. The Groypers don't speak for most white America. I've been across the country 15 times at this point. A lot of the white people is like, I'm not thinking about black people. I mean, the black people thinking about me, they thinking about paying their bills. Somebody earlier said they worrying about their egg and grocery prices. That's most Americans of any melanin content level or lack thereof. All right. So we just be like, all right, she went over there. What'd she say? If you listen to the whole thing, you're like, oh, this was a bunch of soundbite conversation and a little bit of glazing, which makes me go, all right, she's trying to cater to this administration and prep for J.D. Vance in 2028, because we're not going to separate the fact that J.D. Vance accidentally was giving shouts to Nicki Minaj. We in 2026. It's 2 years away. He about to start campaigning. You understand? The game is a bigger chessboard than just one section at a time. But when we hear people like the Fat Double Chin Grits and Eggs podcast, dude, when we hear these people acting like they speak for everybody, but then they scared to speak to Maj, you don't speak for everybody. You a clown. You scared. Most of these dudes is anti-gun. What? Why can I take them serious? Why would I take... I'm going to tell y'all something. If the podcaster is not in shape, has not done a thing, a different type of job that you can, and I don't mean they just was paying the bills before they became a podcaster. If they talking that super for the community, this is the thing that da, you got to do X, Y, and Z. If they talking that, then you got to go, okay, what do you do currently for the community along with podcasting? Okay? I have a community center. For the last 9 years, I train people on firearms basics. We have civics, stop the bleed, helping people getting in shape, health and fitness, things that we say, oh, the black community, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart problems, disease. So now we get you in shape. We make you better shooters. We get you smarter. Things that our communities actually need in our community center and across the country for the last 9 years, all voluntarily based. That's what we and Maj has done. I don't just talk on the internet. I actually just started being an internet person. I like social media, but my point is, why would I listen to somebody like that? But they swear, they draping their whole life in red, black, and green. Can't show you any iota of what they done. But they can tell you how the black woman needs to be protected and say all of this Derrick Jackson pandering stuff, right? They say all of that, but then align with the Democratic Party. How, Sway? How? Are MAGA going to buy the album? No. Yeah. They bought Bryson shit. And that's not a diss to Bryson. Me and Bryson have went back and forth. If y'all don't know who Bryson is, that song, and I don't just talk, I do it. Do it. That whatever that song is, right? He's married, he's conservative, he's Christian, he lives that life. That's him, right? He's committed to that. So it's not a diss to him. So they bought his joint. MAGA, you could get MAGA to buy anything. And I don't mean that MAGA in a bad way. I think MAGA needs to understand that they should vet and then get behind people that actually need it. But you got to stay in MAGA's face if they not Trump. Now, Peacemaker said this. Peacemaker said this, not me. If you, and I'm going to add to what, it's on the screen. It's on the screen. I'm going to add to it. Okay? Peacemaker said what he said on the screen. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm not saying that that person that falls under that condition that's on the screen right now, I'm not saying that they're not worthy to be listened to and we don't promote them to be on their journey. This ain't a diss in that regard. I am saying when they start talking loud like that, the louder I get, the tighter I got to be. I got so much stuff in my past that I'm cleaning up and getting better at. We ain't doing the fake pedestal perfect thing. That's not what we doing. But I can actively show where I've tried to cut down on my negative karma and serve the people, along with, to Peacemaker's point here, the discipline is there. And we're creating more solutionaries by being more disciplined. That's the goal. But when you get on there talking that pro-black and you haven't even disciplined yourself enough to show me your current journey in losing weight, and you got a double chin, talking loud, telling men how they should be operating and pandering to women, lowering the standard, not holding women to a higher standard and working towards that. We don't even know what you do for the community that you say you rep. That's when you should start asking questions. That's where the media start getting really, you got to look at that a little bit. Why do you got to look at that? Because the media is changing. It's no longer, is you watching CNN or is you watching Fox? The new media, Elon told you, you're the media now. Social media, podcast. The biggest podcast in the world is not on a network. It's Joe Rogan. The biggest one in urban demographics is Joe Budden. They Super Joe. Right? These are the biggest platforms in the world. So don't make it seem like think that the orchestrators or the so-called elite not manipulating the game there too. They is. So when they see, oh, we got one that's going to look like he pro-black. If you are not a patriot, you are not pro-black, you are not a solutionary, if you are not focusing on being stronger, being smarter, promoting unity, promoting service, being a better shooter, and being in shape. I can't take none of these dudes serious. No, you're listening to this, and you think I'm talking about you, I am. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Walk it off, champ. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Because I've shown and proven what we do. Has it been a struggle? Absolutely. But you can point to what I do. Somebody tell me in the chat what the grits and eggs dudes do. What do he do for the community? What do all of these people that we talking about, right? What do they do? What do they do? Talk. What do Matt Walsh do? Talk. What do Nick Fuentes do? Talk. What white communities has Nick Fuentes served? Because I get it, he don't want to be around the blacks. Look what Bookworm said. I heard him say recently they do stuff. I can't remember what it was though. Because it's nothing. Because the answer is nothing. They don't do anything. If you Scott Adams, who the ancestors came and took his legs recently, right? Remember Scott Adams was like, move away from black people. I don't want to have nothing to do with black people. And people try to act like that's not what he said. Cool. He got cancer now. So well wishes to him. Hope he pulls through. Ancestors came and snatched his legs though. That being the case, right? You're a cartoonist, bro. You a cartoonist. You draw cartoons. I ain't knocking it. It's joy and funny and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking it. Right? But when you look at these people, what service have they made to the community that they say is better? If you think the white community is better, I want to see how you, and they're under attack, I want to see how you serve in the white community. It's not a knock. If you think the Latin community, the Jewish community, the Asians, you want to stop Asian hate, I need you to show me how you stopping Asian hate. Show me how you doing that. If you can't, if you're talking about I was bringing awareness to it, I'm going to laugh at you. So what do these people do? See, when we're talking about an end of the year conversation, we're going to talk about what are they doing to find out what actually happened with Charlie Kirk's assassination. The person that seems to be at least digging is Candace Owens, and ironically, everybody's going, she's crazy, don't pay attention to her. The person that's doing a thing. Drake and Kendrick Lamar go through their thing, and Drake goes, wait a minute, y'all running this play. This seems like this. Oh, maybe this is why y'all wanted me out the paint. Then he sues him, he does the thing, and they go, the media, hip-hop culture, goes, oh, he ain't playing by the right rules. He ain't snitch on nobody. He went to go, yo, they not playing fair. That's inflated numbers. He did something, and the whole industry caved on him. Why? We talk about Nick Fuentes, and I go, well, what does he do for the white community? He can't, because he's Mexican. What does he do for the young community? You Revenge of the Nerds, dorks and geeks, dweebs. That's what you are. Then let's go to a bigger one. Let's go to a few ones. Let's rapid fire. Let's rapid fire. Iryna Zarutska. Y'all probably don't even remember the name. Okay? That boy is Spaniard. That boy is Spaniard. What's his name? Fuentes. His name is Fuentes. I lied to you not. It means fresh in Spanish. I'm not making it up. That boy is Spaniard. He daisy fresh. Spaniard. A conquistador in his mind. Okay? But Iryna Zarutska got stabbed on that train in the Carolinas. What has happened? What have y'all done? Y'all talked about it on social media. I helped raise money and gave it to her family. That's what I did. I highlighted organizations and was like, here. Yes, she was on the light rail. What have we done? Y'all made these memes. See, this is why the left be dominating. The left gonna put money behind something. Hey, we get on the internet wave of things. Sydney Sweeney puts out an ad for American Eagle. She didn't have no creative control over that. It says Sydney Sweeney has good genes. All of the left got mad. The right said, yeah, we back Sydney Sweeney. Y'all didn't buy the jeans. The sales dropped like a week later. You didn't buy the jeans. She had a movie that came out 2 weeks to a month after that. Y'all don't even know what the name of the damn movie is. What did you do other than just talk? We raised and gave away close to $1 million. Stamped. Factory. We did it. Are doing it. Rumbling and fighting. What do your people do? Nick Fuentes says all of this stuff. What are y'all gonna do? Now, being entertained, yeah, I get it. Bookworm, like, that's why I said they ain't gonna buy Nicki album. Now, I don't know. Nicki already has a solid fan base. They buy a lot of Trump stuff. Maybe the twist is you gotta be an entertainer. Trump selling gold sneakers, $10,000. Trump got colognes coming out. You gotta sell a product, baby. Gotta be your product. Okay? What does Nick Fuentes do? Nick Fuentes says he don't even want to move out of Chicago or whatever city he in. He said, I like a frittata. I like a frittata. I don't want to move somewhere down south what is your meal? Meat and cheese and pasta? That's what he said himself. They don't do nothing. They talk. They talk. 2025 has been the year of the doers being attacked and the talkers being exalted. I want to say that again. 2025 has been the year of doers being attacked and the talkers being exalted. Matt Walsh is a grade A goofy. But y'all think he's so conservative because he got the beard and the flannel. He killed it with What Is a Woman. Now he got another movie coming out. Y'all don't know the name. Don't go watch it. Then he paraded as some leftist. He's an entertainer. These people are entertainers. They don't do nothing. 2025 has been the year of the doers being attacked and the talkers being exalted. 2026 going to be different around this joint. Because everybody's tired of just the talkers. And I'm not saying don't have the ability to communicate effectively. I'm saying talk and then do. Communicate, express the play, then go run the play. Team, this is what we're going to do. I'm telling y'all, if you understand and agree with what I'm talking about, leveling up your mind, your body, your defense, sidebar, we have an actual site with practical lessons that you can get to evolve in these areas so you're not just talking. Today, the Solutionary 9 Legacy Access ends. $99. It's $999 tomorrow. That's it. Don't wait. Don't wait. Trump Epstein. What did the Trump administration do? Has Fauci been arrested? All of them Somalians that they found out was doing fraud, none of them are going to be arrested. None of the people that were complicit in those deaths in New York around putting those elders on the ventilators for the COVID shit, none of those people are going to be held accountable. None of them under this administration. And even crazier, the Epstein files comes out. So we done talked about Drake and Nicki and Charlie Kirk and Ericka Kirk and Nick Fuentes and Iryna Zarutska and all of these people and the hip-hoppity, bibbity bop. All of that. The Epstein files, big nothing burger. After the administration, the Trump administration, fought against the release of them for a very long time. And as they were doing lip service during the campaign saying for years, the Biden administration, they know blah, 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 blah. They got in and said, why are we still talking about this guy? They were talking that this ain't that deep. after they talked and said, this is the deepest thing ever. Pause. Then when the doer showed up, Thomas Massey, and said, yeah, we're going to release it. They vilified the doer. They vilified the doer and exalted the talkers. That is 2025 in a nutshell. 1,000%. Guns and Gains says, just bought the Solutionary 9, sir. Looking forward to expanding my mind and becoming a true solutionary. Appreciate you, Guns and Gains. Y'all, get the solution. I'm telling you, it's going to be $1,000 tomorrow. It's $99 now. I've been saying this for 6 months. I talked about it so I could hide under the 2025, let's celebrate the talkers. I got more on the internet while I was doing stuff. That link right there is on the screen for the Solutionary 9. And if you're on YouTube, it's on the chat. I was creating something beautiful for y'all. I talked to you. It's going up. It's going up. I want a whole bunch of people in Solutionary 9. I want dedicated that are serious. Because macros, meal plans, workout routines, shooting drills, accountability community. We have to make the list of things that we're talking about tonight, right, y'all? This list of things. These are things that we have allowed to fester because strong men and strong women have not been resilient and defiant and consistent about limiting government, seeking transparency, and all of that. Everybody ain't going to bust their gun. Everybody ain't going to be strong. We have to make stronger people. That's what being a solutionary is about. So I know it's not going to be all of y'all. Some of y'all going to buy in. Some of y'all going to be like, yeah, Maj, I'm down. I'm really down. I'm going to get in the Solutionary 9. And let me tell you another scary thing. Some of y'all going to get in the Solutionary 9, and it's a blueprint, and you're not going to do nothing. And I'm going to annoy the hell out you. I want to chase those people that's already in our group. And I want you to get in before it's 10 times the price that it's going to be tomorrow. Why is this important? Because all of the things we're going over tonight for tonight's year-end roundup and wrap-up are all a symptom of the disease that we have allowed to be a cancer and spread for so long. Nobody wants to call a contradiction on the Trump Epstein thing, or few of us do. But we've allowed government to get to this point. We allowed it. We, as a collective, the United States people of the United States of America, have allowed the government to get to the point where they can campaign on no new wars. We need to get out of Ukraine. We need to be minding our own business. Can campaign for 2 years on that. Get in office, do 1 or 2 months of good job, and then do the exact opposite. A 100% 180-degree turn. Okay? What happened there? Oh, we stopped going because that's our guy and we can turn a blind eye to certain things. Why? Because the people are unaware. They've made you tired. You're out of shape. You don't have a spiritual connection with your family. You're not thinking about forward movement. They're keeping us in a hamster wheel. Show of hands in the chat. I want to hear y'all perspective. I want to hear from y'all. Show of hands in the chat. How many people in the chat work out 5 days a week? Let's start there with the physical. Because as you know, it's physical at the bottom, then it's mental, then it's spiritual. If you believe in spirituality, right? I don't want to knock nobody's faith. If you a Muslim, assalamu alaikum. If you a Christian, whichever one y'all be saying, right? Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. Whichever one y'all on, right? If you Jewish, cut the check. I don't know. Everybody says a different thing, all right? That's a joke, guys. It's not, don't hit me with the anti-Semitic joint, right? My point in saying this is, whatever your faith is, your value system, I want to break bread with you, Okay? The spirituality component is a component of the overall thing. I'm not knocking. I'm saying on the base level, how many people in the chat work out 5 days a week out of 7? How many people? If you have, well, Selt, you don't count. Selt, you are a solutionary already. So I know you work out every day, right? Well, you count. All right? You count. Let me not say it that way. I don't want to come off like, you don't count, brother. No, you get my point, right? All I'm saying to y'all is this. If we have not taken the, like, you can't talk this revolution thing if you get winded going up a flight of steps. And I'm not saying that. I want to be very clear. This is not a diss to anyone. This ain't a diss. This is me saying, if you're a sniper, sometimes you got to be behind glass for 12 hours, okay? And in that 12 hours, right, you have to stay there. You can't move because the target might come out of the door that he or she is in, and you can't leave. You got to be on the scope, behind glass. Behind glass means looking through the scope, so when the target comes out, you got to shoot it. So what's your cardio like? What's your stamina like? What's your patience like? What's your diligence like? What's your consistency like? All right? Now, that's an extreme example, but if you're not in shape, there's different levels to this thing. Okay, even to get into the military, you have to pass a certain basic fitness training. If you don't pass this, you can't even get into this army. That's one. 2, if you want to be an infantryman in this army, you got another level of physical fitness. Now, if you want to be special forces, there's an entire other list of things like Hell Week, a week of you going through hell and torture, conquering sleep. You understand? If you don't meet these requirements, you don't get into special forces. Just be an infantryman. Or if you don't meet this requirement, you don't be an infantryman. You just in the military. Keep the Wi-Fi going. Right? Or whatever your job is. It's not a diss. And if you don't even meet those requirements, you don't even be in that. The problem is the standards keep getting lowered. So when I say fitness, firearms, finance, faith, whatever your faith is, I'm telling you that this is how we got to save the country. We got to make the people that we respect. So when we're talking about all of this stuff for 2025 and these weird situations that's popping off, we talking about it because it's like, we've allowed it. We got to raise the standard. Absolutely not wrong, says Maj going Goggins for a minute. I love David Goggins. I don't like soft situations. Soft never sat well with me. I am the nicest, most loving, giving, and kind person. But I will eat your face off in defense of what is my family. And you have to be capable of doing that. And you can't be capable of doing that if your temple ain't even starting to go in that direction. So when we're talking about these things, and we're talking about these serious scenarios that we might make fun of and joke about, and some things aren't a joke. I can laugh about the Drake, whatever. Drake is fine. Drake will be fine. That white man will be fine. Drake will be fine. Okay? He's got the best of both worlds. Okay? He got a black dad from Memphis, and he got a Jewish mother from Canada or wherever she's from. He'll be fine. Okay? He got a $400 million severance package. We ain't tripping about Drake. Drake is going to be fine. So we can make some jokes about that. But what we can't make jokes about is how the American people are so soft that the United States government can tell you that there is a so-called elite pedophile ring moving around and the White House didn't get burned down. Do y'all guys know about the Bacon's Rebellion in Virginia? When they burnt the governor of Virginia's house down, black people and white people working together to overturn, and they burnt the governor of Virginia's house down? Do y'all know about the raid at Harper's Ferry in West Virginia? John Brown going, this slavery thing is trash. I'm working with white people and black people, and we killing anybody that's trying to keep slaves. Do y'all know about that? Do y'all know about the Boston Tea Party? Do y'all know about the Battle of Athens? What are we talking about? But if we're trying to course correct our country in that regard, we got to look at what happens in a year and we just go, well, I mean, Trump's got his reasons for not doing the Epstein thing. Then they say, we're going to be transparent for you. Then they redact everything. This is why we made the Solutionary 9. This ain't just about Maj want to sell you a program. No, this is about we got to get us right. And if you don't want to get right, that's fine. I think you should get right tonight. Start tonight. Forget it. I get it. Y'all want to wait till New Year, New Me? We ain't doing all that. Start now. Let's move on. Let's get to a lighter side of things because I know I might be scaring some of y'all. Y'all thought I was just like, I'm used to it. Y'all think I'm just one thing. Y'all think that. I have tremendous knowledge of self. My crown chakra been lit. Y'all just forget I have locks because I keep them in a hoodie all the time. I get it. But nonetheless, let's talk about some safer things. Cardi B and Stephon Diggs. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ain't that what they say to me, right? Pop culture and this sports thing, y'all know Stephon then got charged with choking somebody out. His chef had a BBL. I'm lying to y'all not. Chef had a BBL. She say he choked me out because I ain't cooked the fish right. First of all, Stephon Diggs got way too many chicks. He just had 4 babies by 4 different women for 2024 and 2025. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. I promise y'all I'm not. What does that speak to? Lack of discernment. We picking. Cardi, baby girl, you could have just stayed mad. Offset. I don't know how Offset, as horrible as a human as he's been, still seems to come out on top in this scenario all the time. I have no idea how he does it. You should have just stayed married to. So now Offset about to get 60-70% of your bread, early rumors say, because you cheated on Offset, broke the vows with Stephon Diggs, and now Stephon Diggs done had another one. Got another one on the way. New baby. As solutionaries, I'm not mad. Y'all believe in y'all whatever y'all faith is. In your good book, it say be fruitful and multiply. I'm not knocking the fruitful and multiply part. I'm saying let's be honest about it and not pretend something is, you know what I mean? I'm saying maybe we as men, I'm guilty of it at certain times too. Me too, because I ain't going to do that holier than thou floating in the air above everybody else type deal. I'm not going to do that to y'all. I'm never going to do that to y'all. Ever. However, just maybe, this sums it up. Our lack of discernment and self-control and blowing that generational wealth that them football players be getting, it ain't never going to make it to the babies or the grandbabies. It ain't. We are at a crossroads, and this is what I want 2026 to look like for us. Few more topics tonight, and we're going to close up, y'all. But I got to say this to y'all. You have to evaluate all of the things that you're doing as men. I'm not talking to the women right now, not because I'm pandering to the ladies, but I'm a leader of men. Okay? I'm not dissing the women. I'm saying, hey guys, if we tighten up, the women will kind of not have to be so hard. And then we can get some interpersonal communication and going back to the healing of our relationships. That's what I believe. But I believe that starts with the men, me personally, okay? I do not believe that men should not hold women accountable or girls are like children. They ain't got no control over them. I don't believe that bullshit. I think that's put there to make it seem like that. But I know women that run, y'all know this, women run businesses, women run households, which is a business, which is the first technology to family. Come on now. But if we keep picking these things and not making solid decisions because the men are now chasing all of this, and again, I'm telling y'all, I've fallen victim to this. I'm not pretending. I'm telling you, even for self, 2026 got to look like that, baby. It got to. It has to. Because if I say I'm a leader, if I slip, y'all gonna fall. Imagine if y'all heard me smoking and drinking tonight to bring in the new year. Imagine if y'all heard that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna talk to y'all. Then I'm gonna play with my little cousins that's sitting on the couch over there. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do some push-ups. We're gonna watch a movie. I can't let them watch Stranger Things. Season 5 gets weird. So no thank you. Right? However, I cannot slip because y'all may fall. I have to be self-imposing a certain level of rigidness that sets the standard for other men so we can all create more solutionaries. Because otherwise, we're going to have more Zohran Mamdanis in New York. A self-proclaimed democratic socialist. Yeah, we moving on to the next topic. A democratic socialist, a socialist, is the man in charge in the financial capital of the world, New York. A democratic socialist. Y'all know socialism means redistribution of wealth and the destruction of the free market enterprise. That, the youngest mayor in New York history, is it self-proclaimed, went on The View and said, I'm a democratic socialist, and got elected. These are political milestones, and they're significant because it speaks to the level of degradation and lack of understanding. Hence, why we have a civics and liberty class. Why should government be limited? Why does socialism historically always lead into communism? Why socialism and communism are bad things. But we got people on the right like Nick Fuentes saying he admires Hitler and Stalin, the fascist and the communist. This is where we are in 2025, and we got to leave that bag right there in 2025 as we move on into 2026. Okay? We got to leave that bag there like Diddy left a bag of money with Cassie and still caught the case. Still caught the case. That's a lack of discipline on the men again, though. Men, it's us. Somebody else just got a Solutionary 9. I don't know who that is. Let me look real quick. I see Super Weapons just got one. Okay. I appreciate. Bradford just got one. Ricky just got one. Pete just got one. I'm saying y'all first names. You can choose to identify if you want to. I ain't going to put your whole joint out there. Yeah, we see it. We see it. I'm telling y'all, the Diddy, Cassie, Charlie Kirk, Nicki Minaj, Ericka Kirk, Trump, Epstein, all of these things that have happened over the last year are because of our lack of standard. I'm telling you. We are watching somebody get champion and say, yeah, girl, get your man, Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs' own teammates, if I'm lying, I'm flying. His own teammates, when asked, they took a camera around the locker room and said, hey, who would you never on your team want to? Everybody unequivocally was like, oh, Diggs. And this is who she got with. Then we get to that lower standard. Now we get a democratic socialist running the city of New York. Speaking of which, to counter that, every single person watching this should be supporting Larry Sharpe for governor of New York. I had dinner with Larry Sharpe last week. Y'all didn't know it. I had dinner with Larry Sharpe, who should be the governor of the state of New York, libertarian to balance that goofy situation in New York City out. I had dinner with Larry Sharpe last week or so ago, in Philadelphia. We ate at Boramini. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Everybody, if you want to do something, find Larry Sharpe, DM me after this, find his campaign, get behind his campaign. He's a doer. He's been on Rogan. He's been on Glenn Beck. He has answers. 2026 has to be the year of action. Civically, politically, legally, financially, firearms-based, Second Amendment, fitness, health, spiritually. I don't care what your faith is. Have one. Practice it. Be serious about it. This is what needs to happen. Because we can laugh about these things. We can laugh about them. I laugh about a lot of it. Right? But it's still serious. If you're not paying attention to the standard being so deviated, here's the deviation so bad. Diddy's doing 2 years for flying chicks out and doing what adults do. That's what Diddy's in jail for. We literally have video of Diddy beating Cassie around in the hotel. He was not charged with that. That's where the standards are. The conversation is about baby oil, not what he actually did that we have a tape of. It ain't AI. It ain't Chat GPT. Whatever. Okay? Yes, the governor of New York can pardon Dexter Taylor. I feel comfortable saying this. If Larry Sharpe is elected for governor of New York, he would free Dexter Taylor. I ain't ask him about it, but I feel confident saying that. All right? Guys, we are in the barn. We are in the barn dominion. We are in the fight. Actually, let me pause that real quick. Guys, like button, share, repost, all of that. Protocol says, Maj, what's your take on this coordinated F the Streets campaign? I'm never saying F the streets. It depends on what you mean by the streets. If you're talking about murder, destruction, destroying communities, yeah, it's always been that. Okay? Always been that. If you're talking about grit and strength and masculinity that you tend to get when you outside, no, it's not going to be F the streets. Instead of saying F the streets, let's say A for principles. Standing on what you do. Being, you know what I mean? When people start talking that F the streets thing, you kind of saying it because the dweebs is winning on the internet. More solid men need to be talking on the internet about things that can be done and what they're doing. And it needs to be in the streets. So I'm not going to say F the streets. There's too many people in the streets. The streets, I'm talking about people struggling. People, moms trying to put food on the table. They out in the street. They hustling. We selling platters. We selling weaves. We selling this. We doing that. DVDs. We selling weed. I could never say F the streets. You know how much strength? You know how many people know me from selling DVDs on the train in Philly? Technically, that's the streets. Selling weed is the streets. Why would some of the most principled men that I know have street backgrounds. I'm not saying F the streets. I'm saying maintain the standards, the rules, and the principles that's supposed to go along with the streets. But y'all got a problem with that because y'all be picking and choosing. Y'all a la carte gangsters. You pick and buffet out the part of the rules that you want to. Nah. Some of my homies are from the streets. Leek Moss, King Erner, Oskino, Tone Trump. Street dudes. Some of the nicest guys you'll ever know. So I can't say F the streets. I say bring back the standards. And when you outside and you off the porch, you off there, you know what comes with that. Don't get mad if you break the rules and then you a strange smell in somebody's basement. You knew the rules. Bring back the principles to the street. So I'll say that there. Lastly, y'all, we in the barn dominion. Okay? We're in the barn dominion. It's us as solutionaries in here. There's an enemy at the gate. How many of y'all seen the movie Sinners, which is the movie, to me, for 2025? I like the movie. I liked it personally, right? It's one scene I ain't like. That whole dancing shit, you can miss me with that. But I get it. It was a montage, right? However, the vampires are outside. They can't get in unless we invite them in. The laundry list of our list of tonight for the recap of 2025, these deaths, destructions, just degradation of the standard has happened because too many times in different barn dominiums and barns across our country, hoods and our neighborhoods, we've invited those things in by championing them. We have championed a sadistic, parasitic, vampiric energy that has drained the lifeblood out of our communities. And all we've done is highlight and thumbs up the people just talking, not doing something. Once you've let this vampire in, you got to fight to get it out and keep it out. And then the new things that you build, you learn from them and you do not invite the vampires again. So for 2026, I need everybody to be on the Solutionary code. If you wait till tomorrow, it's $1,000. If you do it today, it's $99. I only want to deal with people that are in our barn fighting to develop our farm. If you a vampire on the outside, or if you on the outside and you not a vampire, I can't identify who you is because you ain't in this barn with us and you might be bit. Oh, you know how every zombie, somebody hide, they bite? No, thank you. We don't want no daywalkers. We don't want no zombies. We don't want no vampires. That's what 2026 look like. It's the era of the solid, good people that are willing to do work. And if we are talking, it's about things that are always going to lead us right back to a potential solution that we can do. If that's not what you on, love you to life. I hope you fend well out there with them vampires because you might not be one. Farewell. And I don't mean goodbye. Hope you make it. I mean farewell out there. This is a solutionary house, and that's all I'm interested in talking with for 2026 and executing with and building with. I hope that you guys that don't get in this barn with us, every so often I'll wave to you on these lives, on the show, in the emails, but we are building in 2026 so we don't have a laundry list of an absolute shit show that I just went over tonight. All of these things happened in 2025. Media manipulation, tomfoolery, lack of discipline in the men and their lower urges, assassinations and assassination attempts with no answers because we just going to clean off and cement over the murder scene. And the people that are asking the right questions and trying to do something are the people that are being ostracized. No more. And if that's what you want, stay outside. I'm not inviting you in. You can only get in if you are here within the land of the living with us that are living. If not, please stay outside. We are strapped. Go do vampire things over there with your vampire buddies. There's some more people that's outside that's not on the solutionary wave. Go feed off of them. Not us. Not us. Guys, this is your last chance to get into the Solutionary 9 at $99. It's our private community that you will become a better leader, a better shooter, a better you. It's a simple blueprint to learn how to defend life, your life, others' life, your health, your rights. After tonight, the program moves to the new phase with more structure, more pressure, and a $999 price tag. I've said this for months. Y'all can't be too mad at me. Step in now, get grandfathered in to legacy access, but it will be before tonight at midnight, Eastern Standard Time, 2.5 hours. I appreciate, there's 2 ways to do it. Donate at givesendgo.com/solutionary at $99 or more. That's one. Or go over to solutionaryuniversity.org and just join. If you need a direct link, I'm gonna be on social media. I'm gonna bring in the new year with family and y'all in the DMs. All right, that's what's gonna happen. If you want a link, send me the link to donate so I can get in. Or send me the direct link. Shoot me a DM. X, Facebook, whatever. My email is maj2ray@solutionaryuniversity.org, and I'll engage y'all there. But at midnight, barn door gotta close. I don't know who's the vampire. Appreciate y'all all. I will see y'all next week. Make sure you are bringing your New Year's in a healthy and safe way with family. Don't say it's going to be a new year, new me. If you're going to get absolutely hammered, you want to have a little salute and whatever, but don't get absolutely hammered. Don't go outside doing stupid stuff. Don't shoot guns in the air. What goes up must come down. Let's be safe. Let's be solutionary. Peace, y'all. See y'all next year.